Welcome to the Module 4 video, our last video. Today we'll look at a few more advanced things you could do with Edpuzzle. So the first thing I want to show is how to archive a video. So if you go to, this is your main landing page, if you go to My Classes, I'm going to go down to the test class that I created, and here's one of our assignments. Remember, I had not put a due date on here. If I click here, I can now add a due date. So I'm going to add yesterday as the due date so it's already there. Oops, you have to click Save. If I now go back, notice that's not in the No Due Date section anymore. Okay, and it's confusing because they have the same name, Introduction, but here's the one, the past due assignments. So I like to, when I do this, I don't put any due date on my assignments, and I have them up for the whole unit. But then once they have completed the unit, then I switch the due date to a date that's already passed, and then they're all listed here. So that in my screen here, I'm only looking at the ones for that unit. Same thing will be on the student's screen. They can just always look at the no due date ones, and all the ones for that unit will be right in there. So that's just a management type thing that I like to use. Another resource I want to point out to you is Edpuzzle has a lot of help videos on YouTube. So if you just type in Edpuzzle on YouTube, look and see who created the videos. Here's one that Edpuzzle actually created. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click on their videos, and it now shows you on YouTube every video that Edpuzzle actually created. So if you have a question of how to do something, check here. Just search Edpuzzle on YouTube, go to their YouTube channel, and it's a spot that's got lots of videos, just about anything that you could maybe ask for on Edpuzzle. Now, if you don't see it here, see there might be an outside source that posts the video to help with it as well. So the next feature I want to show you is how you can actually add an Edpuzzle video directly to Schoology. So I'm just going to add it at the bottom of our course main page for right now. We can either just click Add Materials, and notice Edpuzzle is there, or we can just click where we want it to go. So we can click Edpuzzle, and what will happen is your My Content page will automatically pop up. So I can go ahead and select a video. I'm going to select this one. I can assign it, and I'm going to turn off Prevent Skipping. And notice the class that it is assigning it to. If you assign it through Edpuzzle, it will create a class, or sorry, if you assign it through Schoology, it'll create a class on Edpuzzle that matches the course name for your course on Schoology. Now, just keep in mind, it'll automatically put the students that are in the course, they will populate in the class on Edpuzzle, and it'll match students' logins through school. So it wouldn't be through a personal email that they'd have. It'd have to be through their school email. So I click Assign. Now, one thing to note is if I clicked on this video right now, notice I kind of get this error message here. If I go back and I click on the gear over here and go to Edit, I need to click Enable Grading. And Schoology also makes you give a category as well. But I need to click the Enable Grading so that I will be able to grade it right from here. So on my end now, when I click it, I can see the video here. Okay, and once you've clicked that Enable Grading, then it will automatically pop up. Now, personally, I don't like to have it go right directly through Schoology. I like it to be separate on Edpuzzle. And my reasoning for that is if you've got it linked through Schoology, then if Schoology is down or Edpuzzle is down, then your students can't watch the video. If you're doing it just through Edpuzzle, the kids can easily just type in edpuzzle.com, or a lot of them just download the app on their phone. That's just one thing that could potentially be down. And especially when we were out of school this spring, Schoology got really, really slow during the day when lots of people were on. So that's another reason why I don't plan on having my videos directly in Schoology. Now, as I mentioned before, another backup I have is I put all my videos on my YouTube channel, and students know that that's a backup in case Edpuzzle was ever down. So some other advanced resources that we're not going to go all the way through, but I want to point out to you in case you want to investigate them further. So on Edpuzzle, if you click on the little person icon on the top right and go down to Help Center, you can go down to LMS integrations, so Learning Management System integrations. So one thing here, how do I export my grades to my LMS? So there's not a way that at least I know of that you could do grades from Edpuzzle right to Schooltool. But you can get them into Schoology. And there's directions here for how to get your Edpuzzle grades onto Schoology. So that's if you were going to count the answers to their questions, how you graded them in a grade in the course. Now again, I personally just put them in manually in Schooltool because my videos are always homework grades. So even if they're getting the questions wrong, if they attempted it and everything, they're still getting the credit for it. So again, for mine, usually there's only a handful of kids that aren't getting credit, so it's easy to just put in manually. The other thing I want to point out is they have a whole section on using Edpuzzle with Schoology. Now, some of the information on this tab would be for our tech people who already added the link right on Schoology. So some of it wouldn't apply to you, but it is a resource that is there if you're adding the videos directly on Schoology. Now, one last thing that I want to point out on Schoology, in case you were not sure of, is how to sync your grades in Schoology with Schooltool. So the reason I show this is if you had grades in Edpuzzle and wanted to get them to Schooltool, you could do a two-step thing where you have the grades be sent to Schoology and then the Schoology grades would be sent to Schooltool. So if you're at the high school, we have the high school computer resource page on our Schoology courses. I'm not sure if the other buildings have the same thing as well. We have the distance learning tools. We can go to Schoology. And if you go to assessments and scroll down, there's sync grades from Schoology to your Schooltool gradebook. So now I understand not all of you are in the high school. You may not have this on your own computer resource page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down this page slowly. So if you want to use the snipping tool and do a screen grab, you can then screen grab those directions so that you have them that you can save and use whenever needed. So syncing your grades from Schoology to Schooltool, that's something that I didn't do this spring. I know some people did do it and they found that it was very helpful. It's probably something that I will look into doing this fall. But you have this resource available to you. Any questions that you still have, you can post again in the discussion board. I hope that this course was helpful to you. My email is pengle at fmschools.org. So even after the course ends, if you run into trouble with Edpuzzle things, feel free to email me at any time. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Your only task for this module is to complete the survey that is at the end of the course.